is to go into executive session. So we are going to sign out and then sign back in for us to be in executive session, and then we will be back with the open meeting at 7 o'clock.
Should I make a motion? You'd like me to make a motion?
Yep.
Okay. I will make a motion to go into executive session to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel and discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining related to potential health insurance changes for all paid employees if, as an open meeting, may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or negotiating position of the public body. And our chair has so determined that, and to discuss strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with union and non-union personnel as an open session may have a detrimental effect on the town's bargaining position.
Second.
Excellent. Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? See none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. Motion passes.
And we will return to open session.
Hi, Marilyn.
Holly, I feel so lucky. I've gotten to see you so much.
Fit. Are you ready on your end?
We're live.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. Let's get it on the lobby too. That was my mistake.
I turned the lobby off.
I'm gonna get the lobby sound on. And actually, let me.
Okay.
We discovered a wall.
He's gonna verify the lobby. She's great. Yeah, she's spending a lot of time on the Cape right now. I know.
Mike, are we good? Mike, are we good out there? We're good. Okay, folks, thank you very much. We're going to commence the open part of our select board meeting. We're going to deviate a little bit from our agenda. We're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance, and then since we have a lot of people here who I think are interested in health insurance, we're going to do a brief update on the health insurance discussion. So, with that said, we're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance, led by Noel.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Noel. Okay, so again, instead of going into our open forum, we're going to talk about health insurance. So as part of our executive session, the select board have received an update from our health insurance trust liaison, Sean Kelly. We unfortunately ran out of time to fully review that presentation. So we are going to set a meeting up for Friday of this week to resume conversation about that presentation and the proposal with the idea of hopefully coming to some resolution to provide guidance to Sean. The Health Insurance Trust is looking to meet on the Tuesday of next week. So we would certainly love to give you more feedback on direction at this point, but I wanted to make sure that people are clear. The select board is actually, just giving direction to our liaison. We're not giving direction necessarily to the Health Insurance Trust. This is a decision that the Health Insurance Trust has to take upon themselves. Obviously, Sean is a member of that trust and will provide feedback at that time point. So with that said, welcome to hear any questions. We have certainly received more emails, and I want to thank everybody for sending those emails. It's been very, very helpful for the board to get that feedback. So I will open up the mic for a little bit of time if you have a comment. Sorry.
Just a short comment. So first of all, I'd just like to apologize for having you drive here and wait for the meeting tonight. As you, I'm sure, know, circumstances sort of overcame us with the transition in our town manager leadership. And so we had to allocate a lot of time in that first meeting to make sure we had our plan well outlined. And that meant that we squeezed the presentation that Sean had, and we need to take additional deliberation on that before we come back to you. So thank you for coming tonight. We certainly intended to be all the way through the discussion with Sean, but circumstances didn't allow it, and the rest of the schedule was exactly as Chris outlined.
And I'll just add to your addition, while not necessarily specific to health insurance, but maybe of interest to folks here and others, the select board is going to be working with their partners, the school committee and finance committee, to hold another tri-board meeting at the end of this month or at the very beginning part of next month. The date hasn't been finalized. At which time we will be doing a high-level review of the FY28 budget forecast. So I know a lot of people are asked questions in their emails about some of that type of information. So that will be the first opportunity for the public to get engaged on that. And we welcome participation both remotely and in person. We usually have meetings at the Millennium School. So please feel free to join us at that time. So any questions on health insurance at this point? Anybody want to make? Yes, go ahead, sir. Please identify yourself at the mic.
John Mack, 97 Wall Road.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I just want to kind of understand what the next step is here. We all came here today, and I understand, I appreciate that explanation, to hear what the next step is. What is the next step moving forward? When are we going to get some answers on this stuff?
So the Health Insurance Trust is, again, ultimately the people who have, is the body that needs to make this decision. I think they're working as hard as they can to try and come forward with a decision. And I think it's what I understand, the intention of that committee to make that decision next Tuesday.
Okay, is that an open meeting?
Yes, yep.
And where is that meeting going to be held?
We meet on Zoom.
On Zoom?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's usually at 3 o'clock, right?
I believe it will be a morning meeting. We're
Morning
trying to get,
time.
schedules are a little bit funky right now, so
Okay.
it'll likely be a morning meeting.
When
Again-
will that get posted, so we all know?
It'll get posted by Friday at the latest, but we're aiming to get it posted by Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Is this restricted to just questions about healthcare?
If we could just do healthcare first, and then we can take we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is open forum, and then we'll
Okay.
cover that. So, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Claro, the director of the Cameron Senior Center. I just wanted to clarify, I thought that the select board was looking for a recommendation from the Health Insurance Trust. Am I correct, or has that changed?
The select board made a recommendation to the Health Insurance Trust to pursue a plan design change, and we gave 3 options that we were looking for. It's up to the Health Insurance Trust to make these determinations.
So you're basically giving the authority to the Health Insurance Trust if you won't have any input as to,
No, we have input,
Okay.
right? So our input is having these meetings, providing feedback to the Health Insurance Trust through our liaison, which is Sean Kelly. So, are you aware of how the trust is comprised? Like, who
I've been to plenty of
Okay,
meetings, yeah,
yeah.
all right.
Does that make sense? You look a little hesitant, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
I'm answering
it's
the
just
question.
not what I understood initially. I understood that the select board was looking for a recommendation from the Health Insurance Trust.
Ultimately, we said this is what we think you should do. They need to decide if they are going to do it or not. And so, yes, at the end of the day, they're going to make a recommendation to do X or Y. It's not necessarily to us that they're making that recommendation to say, yes, please proceed and do that. Again, that's not our authority. Does that make sense?
I'm looking for you. This is a little bit above my pay grade,
Sure,
so,
yeah.
you know, I'm just looking for answers. And if you said it's not in your authority to do that, that's helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just a follow-up on that, sorry. So you said you made 3 recommendations to the Health Insurance Trust?
Let me clarify. We made a recommendation to have 3 alternative plan designs provided to us to review and to provide further input on.
And that's what you're waiting on from the trust to determine which one to go?
I think since we've had some changes in the schedule, that probably is not necessarily what we're expecting at this point. And as I said, we've had this new proposal provided to us from Sean, and we're maybe needing to review that a little bit more before we take the next steps on making any further recommendations through him to the Health Insurance Trust.
Okay, so the meeting Tuesday, next Tuesday, what can we expect? I don't know if I'm missing something. What can we expect from the meeting on Tuesday?
I'm going to ask the chair of the Health Insurance Trust to reply to that.
Sure, so we have taken the feedback that we've received so far. We're anticipating more feedback from the select board, and we will be taking all of that into account to come up with a final recommendation moving forward.
Okay, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions online? Or?
I have one online.
Okay,
It's
go
John
ahead.
Cunningham.
Yep.
Go ahead, John.
What is the select board's goal in all of this? One thing that seems to be out there that I haven't heard is, what is your goal? And then the other question would be, how can you accomplish something, do something in FY27 without understanding what the FY28 budget is going to look like?
So I'll answer your questions in the reverse order. So we do have an understanding of what the FY28 budget looks like. And as I said earlier, I don't know if you had been on the call at that point, John, so we are planning to provide that high-level overview of what that forecast looks like at our tri-board meeting, either at the end of this month or at the very beginning of September. As far as what's our goal, so as you're well aware, we started off, I think it was in 2023, 2024 with the budget task force. Was that around?
23.
2023. So the budget task force that the select board created identified health insurance as an area of inefficiency that the select board should review. And as a result of that, we took various steps to start that process, from hiring an independent consultant to do a review of the health insurance trust, and fast forwarding to today, going through a lot of open meetings and process to see if we can right size and make as efficient as possible the health insurance offerings that the town has.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I don't see any online right now.
I think we have one more.
Deb Welsh. Do have a lot of concerns after attending the meeting that the shift is from the town onto the backs of the employees. And I just hope that you look at it as, would this insurance be something my family would want? But I want to ask, no one's talked about what happened. You had mentioned a March decision, or it had to be, am I right? What happens until that time? Are we on the same insurance?
Yes.
Are we
Yes, so we have
same rates, paying
the
premiums?
the rates will not likely be the same. We will go through our November renewal as we always have. We will likely have a rate adjustment based upon what our broker is telling us. And then if the trust comes to an agreement and the select board moves forward with that contract, there will likely be another change March 1st.
Okay. The March 1st change could be a different insurance, in other words.
It could be a different plan design, it could be a deductible, it could be a different contribution. We don't know that at this point in time. We'll be discussing that.
But we're, just to be sure, we're not talking about changing insurance. So Blue Cross Blue Shield would still be who we would be
That is
working
what
with.
the trust is discussing, staying with Blue Cross Blue Shield, yes.
Any other questions, feedback?
Hi, I'm Linda Garvey. I was a teacher for 30 years.
If we can hold the comments in the audience, please, we're having trouble hearing. Thank you.
Linda Garvey, I taught for 30 years in town, so I hope I'm allowed to speak.
Please.
I've found that it's been really, in the 10 years I've been out, it's been a real lack of information coming to the retirees. And I don't know if other departments, but particularly in the education. I happened to call a couple months ago and I spoke with someone at Town Hall, and they don't even have a list of the retirees' email addresses or current phone numbers. And I think that's kind of a crime, because we're a very interested group, a very invested group. And we gave a lot of years to the town, very happily we gave years to the town. And with this, I feel blindsided. I have some issues that I do need health care, and I need to know that I can go to my doctors that I have and have ongoing care. And this has really been blindsiding to me. And I'm I follow things, I listen, on Zoom meetings and such. And you keep saying there's 3 choices. I'm glad to hear that you're staying with Blue Cross, because it seemed to me up until just you made that statement that we were throwing the baby out with the bathwater and going to something like a GIC, which I don't know if any of you were around when we had that in town. It was terrible. It was like it was hit and run. We came back right away because it was terrible.
We've
And
never been on GIC.
we were.
It was Tufts or Fallon, I think maybe you're talking about, but.
It was terrible, it was terrible. And I mean, I think all these folks really have given so much to the town, whether you're from, I don't know if there's police officers here or teachers, but we shouldn't be treated in a disrespect. And I know you don't mean it that way, but it's really felt that way. So I just wanted to put if you could let us know what these 3 options are before they're decided on, would be kind of nice too, because
So let me just so you made a lot of really great points, and I really appreciate you coming forward and raising them. So we definitely hear you. The communication at the start of this process was challenging for everybody involved. I think we've taken a lot of steps to try to improve that Christy, can you speak to just how we are communicating with retirees, please?
Yeah, so please make sure that your information is current with your retiree organization, whether it's MTRS or Middlesex Retirement. We have been going to them to download the contact information to then get information out. You also have a retiree representative now on the Insurance Advisory Committee and the PEC, and I know that they've been pushing information out as well. Every time we're aware of a meeting, we do put the word out to all of our IAC reps and PEC reps. So please just make sure that your information is updated with that organization, then we'll download that and make sure everything gets out.
Because I think more communication will just be better for everyone. Because I think I'm not the only one probably in this room that's feeling that way.
I hear you, and I agree. We are going to say we are trying to improve it as best we can. It's been a challenge, not just for this topic, for any number of topics. Our ability to communicate with our residents, whether they happen to be employees, retirees, whatnot, has been a challenge, and we continue to try to make that as best it can be. I do want to say that the 3 options that you just mentioned, what I said just a little while ago, that may be reset based off of this presentation that we just heard from Sean. So we may not be hearing 3 options at that point. That might change. That was something that we were talking about a couple months ago when we were starting this process, back in earnest in March and April. So don't get fixated on that. There might be some changes. We just don't know what they are at this point.
What I can share is all of the Health Insurance Trust meetings are uploaded to the Health Insurance Trust website, and so people can watch there as well.
But just to clarify, you are saying you are planning to keep the Blue Cross Blue Shield as a foundational base, maybe going to make modifications to it, because I think that was gratifying for me to hear.
The Health Insurance Trust is the direction that we hear the Health Insurance Trust is following. As far as GIC goes, that's not necessarily a Health Insurance Trust decision. That could be a select board decision. And I think it's too early to tell which way we go with that.
Was there the opportunity for people to come and make information or concerns about that?
Absolutely. So what I mentioned at our previous listening session was that we were looking into working with GIC to perhaps bring representatives into Westford to provide an educational session in which retirees, employees, any stakeholder really could participate in and learn more about that as an option. That's not to say that we are going to GIC, it's just a mechanism to provide information because, as you pointed out, people have felt blindsided, they felt like they haven't had enough of information, so it's just another mechanism to try to get that information out to people while we're all sort of hyper-focused on this. I think it's a great way to just make sure that we know what that option is. There's nothing to say in doing that we are going to go to GIC. I want to be very clear with that. It's just a potential educational opportunity, and that's it at this point. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions online? No. Okay, anybody else from the audience on healthcare? Okay. Once again, we apologize that we weren't able to give you more concrete information this evening. We're going to continue this process and try and be as open, as transparent as possible and communicate as best we can. So thank you very much for your patience this evening and attending. We'll move on to our regular agenda, which is our open forum, frequently asked questions and announcements. And why don't we go for open forum? So I think we have somebody here with an open forum question.
Do you want to do Marilyn?
I think Marilyn, can you wait a minute for, she's here. She's interested. Go ahead.
Could I make a suggestion?
You can if you like. You look like you're a hot to trot on open forum, so I just want to give you an opportunity to.
Hi, my name is Mark O'Layler. I live at 105 Concord Road. So I'm here tonight to speak about the RFP, request for proposals that did not go out on behalf of Hill Orchard and Day Field. So what I propose, I'm currently a chair of the Agricultural Commission. I believe whatever I have to say may cover what other people want to say with regards to that issue. I don't want to stop anyone from talking, but I'd prepare to make a quick statement if I may.
We do have that as the second item under our open forum. Would you mind waiting until we get to that point, just in case there's other people who want to participate in that? Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Okay, so we'll move on to I think the highlight of my evening this evening, which is to congratulate Marilyn Frank on all the years of service. I wrote something for her. So tonight we celebrate someone who has truly made Westford a better place, Marilyn Frank. For more than 5 decades, Marilyn has devoted her time, talent, and heart to this community. As a teacher, she inspired generations of young students and helped introduce innovative programs that strengthened our schools. As a public servant, she continued giving back to the town's clerk's office, the Conservation Commission, the Community Preservation Committee, and I did not know this, the Cemetery Committee? Now, all right, still working out on our behalf.
I don't think I'm on a year yet, but I would be 92, so I think it was a good place for me.
All right. And as a volunteer, she demonstrated that service isn't just something you do, it's a way of life. What stands out most isn't just the impressive list of accomplishments, it's the consistency of her commitment. Marilyn has quietly shown up year after year, putting her needs of her neighbors and her community ahead of herself. Her leadership, compassion, and dedication have enriched Westford in countless ways and have touched the lives of generations of residents. And for those of us who don't know, she was named the Kiwanis Person of the Year. You were in our float, and that was phenomenal to see. And just on a more personal note, I had the privilege of serving with Marilyn on the Community Preservation Committee. It was a wonderful time under her and Tootie's leadership, just seeing just so much that the commission got done. Her dedication to just making Westford a better place was there every single time. I love seeing her get up in front of committees representing the Community Preservation Committee at town meeting and stuff like that. And I certainly wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. So I appreciate you and all you've done. I'm going to open it up for the rest of the select board if they want to make some comments before we do a next round of applause. So.
First, that was excellent. The only additional thing that's personal is that Marilyn was a coach and mentor and friend to a whole generation of people who just began to think of running for public office in Westford.
Yeah.
And so many postcards, lots of excellent advice.
I think it was 15 campaigns.
15 campaigns.
Yeah.
And that's for people that are interested but don't know how to get started, that kind of early coaching is so valuable. So I just wanted to thank you on behalf of all the people that you've coached over the years.
Yeah. Noelle?
I am one of those people. Marilyn was my campaign manager. We served together on the Conservation Commission. You're a neighbor right down the street. Thank you for everything you've done for this town.
I love this town.
You will be dearly missed. You have such a sweetness about you. When people come for the Conservation Commission and they get a negative determination and I hear you say, that's a good thing. Sounds bad, but it's a good thing. You will be dearly missed. So thank you for all you've done, Marilyn.
Sean or Elizabeth, any thoughts?
I'll go.
Sure.
Marilyn, it's helped so many people in this town. I think Tom hit it right on the head. Not only has she been active in helping advance this town forward, but creating a whole generation of new leaders and competent people who are interested in advancing this town forward. So thank you, Marilyn. I know it's been a few years since you worked in the clerk's office, but just being able to go in and always seeing her there on that little desk on the left, and it was always a nice face and a very welcoming. And I know we care about that in Westford and what impression we last on people. So thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for your years of service. Sorely missed.
So I'll just echo everything else, and I just really love the combined competence, confidence, and community focus that you bring to everything you do. It's just this really powerful way you message everything and keep things moving forward and feel, spread the feelings that people are just kind of glad they worked with you to get it done. So I hope we can carry on that spirit that you put into everything. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Does Marilyn want to say anything?
What's that?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe Marilyn wants to say something.
Oh, I didn't even give her a chance.
No?
Okay. Yeah, do you want to do yours first? And then, yeah, why don't we go ahead? Yep, go ahead.
So I just want to announce that this afternoon I had the honor and privilege to attend a survivor ceremony at the fire station. Our Firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, police officers, and public communications have dealt with over 16 heart attacks in town so far in 2026. And we were able to celebrate a survivor today and thank all of the first responders for their work. The fire department and all the other public safety departments are starting a wall at the fire department to commemorate all the survivors that we have, and it really takes a village from the people who were with this individual from the moment that occurrence happened, the person who called 911, our public safety communicators who gave excellent instructions on how to provide CPR, and then our first responders who got there. So it was really a privilege to see that ceremony today at the fire department, to be able to honor all of our employees and residents who helped this person, and to see this person who had survived this with their family. So I just want to recognize all that were involved. It was a very touching ceremony. I think our public safety personnel are going to be doing a much better job of promoting the work that they're doing and also celebrating those lives that they're saving. So I just want to recognize that.
That's a great update. And the wall is going to be?
It's in the fire headquarters training room.
Okay, great. Which is open to the public if
It
anybody
is.
wants to stop by.
Yeah. And Mike has one quick thing as well.
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Wanted to put one good plug in before the event. We do have our first partnership with Road and Bush on the community block party on the 21st of August. 6 to 9 p.m. It's going to be on the lawn between the Frost and the Road and Bush buildings. We'll have food trucks, beer trucks, multiple magicians, live music, bounce house, lawn games. It's going to be a big event. We've got a lot of town participation. This is something that really came out of the strategic plan, and one of the goals to do a lot more in the way of community events, especially with the Road and Bush. So we're excited for this one. Hope everybody has a chance to come out.
Sounds awesome. The last one was the Monster Mash?
We did the Monster Mash. We're doing that again this year, and we're working on 2 more with them. So we're trying to target something for every season.
Well, the Monster Mash was a huge success, so you've got, you're going to have to live up to that.
I
you
think
guys
that
can.
the level of planning that this group has put in, and that we've had multiple departments meeting with the Road and Bush on a regular basis, I think it's going to be a stellar event.
I'm sorry, was there a rain date associated?
Nope, rain or shine.
Rain or shine, okay.
We're going to have great weather, Chris.
I know we will. Absolutely. I love the optimism. Any other announcements from the board? No? Okay. Anything from the audience? We have, yep, we're going to do Hill Orchard, so let's move on to Hill Orchard. Mark, I think, you've been very patient, thank you, and you wanted to make a statement with regards to the Hill Orchard fruit collection issue.
Well, I just want to say I'm eternally regretful that I tried to usurp Marilyn Fritz. If I knew that, I would have stayed in the back. I love Marilyn. She's a good friend. And the warm, friendly smile has also been a gift since I moved to town, I guess 16 years ago. So, Marilyn, nice to see you. Once again, my name is Marco Layler. I live at 105 Concord Road, and although I chair the Agricultural Commission, I am here tonight as a private citizen, so my comments are my own. I, along with many of my Westford neighbors, are really concerned that the 2 RFPs, request for proposal for a farmer to farm the day field on Graniteville Road and an orchardist to maintain the Hill Orchard along Chamberlain Road, have not been issued. A farm and an orchard operate around the natural rhythms of the earth. Marilyn will contest to that. When we manage natural systems, it is essential that we pay attention to the seasonal impacts of our management practices. Since these agricultural treasures of our town are currently not managed by a farmer or an orchardist, they both have suffered serious neglect. And we have missed the benefits of the food and sustenance these important agricultural spaces provide. The most glaring example of this is the 20 acres of fruit-laden trees at Hill Orchard. I know it has come to your attention that the Hill Orchard in particular is fecund, fruitful. The ripe peaches, nectarines, plums, pears, apples are literally falling from the trees. To my knowledge, none of the trees have had any customary seasonal treatments in the form of fungicide, pesticide, or nutritive sprays. As a result, the fungal spores and bacterial pests, as well as insect pests like midges, moths, maggots, borers, have been allowed to run rampant. This will result in significant harm and more aggressive management practices going forward. So I could stand here tonight and talk further about the downstream impacts of neglected agricultural land, the loss of food in a state like Massachusetts where 40% of our neighbors are food insecure. But what I really want to come from my comments tonight is for you, the Select Board, to see and feel the urgency of the Hill Orchard situation and act as swiftly as possible to help us move forward toward a healthy orchard that benefits us all. Toward that end, I am heartened to read that the CONSCOM, in an email from Matt Salem, is committed to getting the orchard mowed, and mowed thoroughly. The grass is literally 5 feet tall, and that keeps the moisture from the nightly dew and any rain we have ever present, which encourages fungal and bacterial growth. Secondly, I am similarly heartened to read that the CONSCOM is moving quickly to allow the community garden gleaners to access the property and pick and distribute the fruit to senior centers and food pantries. I must share with you that it has come to my attention that through the efforts of Elizabeth Almeida and others, the professional food gleaning organization, Boston Area Gleaners, has visited the site and unfortunately, given the short shelf life of the fruit in its current condition, could not extend their limited resources to help us. So I am sure the community garden gleaners will do a great job. In fact, they have already donated over 300 pounds of food from our own community garden at the Graniteville site. I encourage the Select Board to take a walk down there. It's beautiful. I was just down there tonight. To ensure this mishap does not happen again, as my mother used to say, many hands make light work. And I know the Agricultural Commission would be happy to assist the CONSCOM in processing the RFPs and conducting interviews to select the best candidates. We appreciate all their work, the Conservation Commission, and have been working alongside them with our own Memorandum of Understanding managing the Dayfield site quite successfully. Lastly, I would like to impress upon the Select Board and the Conservation Commission that if the RFPs are posted for potential farmers and orchardists, please ensure that the deadline for submissions extends into the fall, say November, so it gives the maximum amount of time for good candidates to come forward. I respectfully thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. That was a phenomenal synopsis and makes my job a lot easier. So I appreciate that, Mark. I guess on the RFP side of things, are you able at this point to give any sort of update on where they are in the process?
Yes, this week our office was given the RFPs to confirm deadlines and whatnot and be able to issue those. I believe the CONCOM is discussing the final issuance of the RFPs tomorrow evening. So yes, it is on our plate and we are ready to issue those as soon as possible.
With the recommended dates being
Well,
included?
that would be a CONCOM decision. That is not my decision.
Is
I would
that
like.
something that this board can weigh in on or should weigh in
I
on?
think we
or-
could provide direction to the CONCOM for their discussion tomorrow evening.
Okay. Are you going to be at the CONSCOM meeting? We'll be able to, I know other people have made similar recommendations
Yes.
to the commission, so I think they're going to hear that and make the necessary adjustments to the RFPs to
Okay.
represent that.
Yes, I'll be there and I'll, as politely as I can, encourage them to use that longer open window for prospective candidates.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea.
Yes. So on that topic, there has been a lot of concern from members of the community about the timeliness of trying to harvest this fruit as quickly as possible. I did have an opportunity to talk with the chair of the Conservation Commission. She has reaffirmed the commitment that her commission is going to do everything possible to hopefully issue that license tomorrow to an organization that will help with taking those fruits and getting them out to people who need them, which would be great to see. With that in mind, just a quick suggestion to this board. I think that the Conservation Commission should be given an opportunity to do what they need to do, which is to make this determination. But because of timing, I wanted to see how the board felt about potentially either adding on to our meeting on Friday an agenda item to potentially take action on this if for some reason the Conservation Commission doesn't have the time or ability to do this on Wednesday. Do people feel like that is something that we want to entertain to do? Hopefully it won't come to pass. Hopefully we won't need to do anything. It's just a what if, it's a last ditch, issue.
I think the fruit is in such a small window to be collected that it's just time. So I think as a plan B, that makes sense. And again, hope we don't need it, but we got to get the food to people who can take advantage of it. Yeah, so I would be open to a Friday conversation if needed.
Yep, okay. So, Kristen, if we could add that to the agenda with, hopefully it will be a short item, we'll put it at the beginning. And again, thank you very much. Did you need any dates on the mowing? Are you clear on when the mowing is going to take place?
So the email was just posted yesterday to a member of the Agricultural Commission. So I don't know when, nothing has been stated in particular when anything will take place.
Okay.
And just to be frank, we've received similar suggestions of when things would take place since back in March.
It seems to me that it would be very advantageous to have this mowing done, at least in some part, before the weekend, so that it makes it easier for people to collect the fruit.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, it'll be easier to collect the fruit, and it's a really essential part of maintaining orchards. I don't even believe, I know nothing has been pruned earlier in the season, so there's overgrowth and it traps moisture, and so the fruit needs to air itself out and dry itself out, and that's a natural way to mitigate those kinds of fungal and bacterial infections. So it's a great first step.
Yeah. Do you have any information on this mowing?
I don't.
Okay. So I think what we're going to need to do here, because of the timeliness issue, is could you maybe work with Jeff and Matt, and it sounds like probably Kyle's group, to see if we can facilitate this?
I want to understand who is discussing this, so I will work on that.
Yeah, I think it's a priority issue. I think we want to make sure we keep eyes on this.
Yeah, and if I could just add one other thing. So my understanding is that when Farmer Dave ran the orchard, he received from the town $10,000 to manage the property. And he could do whatever he wanted with that fruit, sell it for as much money as he could get for it. But part of that, he was responsible for maintaining the orchard and improving the trees, keeping them as healthy as possible. I think there was I don't know, I have never seen the contract, but I walked the whole property on Monday. There are no trees that are under 15 years old. I mean, there hasn't been any replanting up there, and there's a lot of open space that should, to my mind, be filled with trees. So going forward, there's a whole lot of work that needs to be done to make sure that it's managed properly. But one other thing, since the $10,000 wasn't provided to anybody, I don't know if the money's gone now because the fiscal year is gone, but there must be some funds available to do whatever quick mitigation we could do. The Boston area gleaners actually suggested that we don't allow any of the rotten fruit covered in spores of fungus to touch the ground, that we need to take them off, put them on tarps and drag them out and dispose of them elsewhere, because it introduces fungal spores to the ground, which later will infect the trees and spread across the orchard. So it's actually a quite significant impact, just one season of not doing proper maintenance. So going forward, that we need to make sure whoever's going to take over this orchard has proper management practices. There's so much food up there, it's incredible. And I was just eating as I was walking around, even pears. Pears typically take a long time to ripen. There's beautiful red pears, nectarines, peaches. So anyway, it's a great resource for the town, and it should be properly managed.
Thank you so much for the feedback. I agree, we have a very short-term issue, right, within the next week or two, and then we have sort of midterm, we got to deal with what's going to happen for next year.
Right.
And I think there's still a longer-term issue of making sure that there's proper oversight of whoever we award that property to, their care and custody of. So I think there's a lot there. And I think, as you pointed out, that the Agricultural Commission could play a very viable role in that process. So I'm glad to hear that your committee is willing to partner with the town on that, which is great.
Wonderful, thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Christine, I don't know on this $10,000.
It may be from the Conservation Commission revolving account, I don't know.
Okay. So Mark, what we could do is bring up your comment tomorrow night with the commission. I will certainly provide some feedback to the chair that maybe there's something that they need to look at in terms of maybe hiring somebody if you have funds to help with the removal of the fruit that's covered with the spores and get that out of there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your consideration.
You're very welcome.
Emily Teller, 9 Texas Road. Listening to Mark, I had a question of the RFP. Is there something in the RFP for the orchardists that might be to develop the orchard more? I mean, I don't know if planting is anything that can be itemized, but that's up to people other than me. I just want to throw it
So
out
my
there.
understanding, Emily, is that yes, it was included in the previous RFP, so that's where I bring up this, we need to have some oversight from the town to make sure that whatever the RFP states is being followed as we move forward with whoever gets that contract.
Okay. And secondly, I know that there's a neighbor who's concerned because I think some of the trees may be on their property. And so I don't know if it's up to the mowers to sort of, take that off or something so that if people go up there, they know that that's not part of the whole property. Good luck.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have an answer to that one.
I know. I just want to put it in the mix as something to think about.
So there's not
I
a
don't know
clear
this.
delineation between the
Correct.
private property
Yeah.
and, okay. Good to know.
And if I find out somebody who knows more, I will let you know.
Okay.
And Kristen, maybe.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
June McMorrow. I believe since the May 27th Conservation Commission meeting, a young woman by the name of Doucette, and her first name escapes me, has come before the Conservation Commission 3 times.
For the day.
For the day field, asking about an RFP, when it would be published, and so on and so forth. And at each of the 3 meetings, she was told they were working on it. So I do understand that in Massachusetts there are procurement laws and all that sort of thing, but I think that Ms. Doucette has certainly shown an interest, and I would hope that Ms. Doucette would be considered as a candidate to secure the RFP, of course. If there are other people, I know you'll have to follow the process, but, and given the fact that, what is this, August 11th? It's just very sad that none of this has come to fruition in 2026. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Great feedback, and I do think that there's some room for improvement in the process here, so we're going to look to try and make that a little bit better as we move forward. Any comments online? Okay, any comments from the board before we close out that agenda item? No? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. All right, we'll move forward to our consent agenda. We have a request to approve the following. It's a town common request. The event is a community dog walk fundraiser. The Takeo Foundation, this is August 29th from 10 to 1. And then we have a banner request for the same event. And the dates of the banner would be August 27th through August 31st. And the banner would be outside the J.F. Fletcher Library. And then we have our special town meeting, October 26th, 2026. And the dates we have for October 20th through October 27th. And the location for that banner is the First Parish Church. We also have a street closure, the Bryan Neighborhood Block Party by Maureen Wilzinski. And this is for September 27th from 12 to 5 p.m. And the location is 10 to 35 Bryan Avenue. Do we have a motion in support of those requests?
So,
We have a second. Okay. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth? Well?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. So all those requests are passed. We have already covered our 7:10 agenda item previously, so we're moving on for our 7:25 agenda item, which is a request from the Recycling Commission to support paint stewardship in Massachusetts. And this is included in the Governor's Environmental Bond Bill, EBB S.3050. Do we have anybody to speak on behalf of that request?
I'm here for that.
Fantastic.
I'm Michelle Pilat. I'm a member of the Recycling Commission and am here to request the board approve, support this paint stewardship law that's now before state legislation in Massachusetts. And we provided materials, so I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, and if you would like, I can kind of give you a summary of it.
Sure, we have a little bit of time, so why don't we do a high-level summary? That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. The Recycling Commission has already approved and voted to send a letter supporting this legislation, and we would like the board to also approve it and authorize us to send the letter on behalf of the town as well. We're looking to show support for this legislation. It's now, like I said before, the well, I can give you an update on where that is now. But the paint stewardship legislation, it shifts the cost of paint disposal from the town, municipalities, and residents who currently have to support the disposal of that unused paint to the producers at the point of sale. The law that, or the program that is being considered typically costs about $75 to $1.25 per can to implement at the point of sale. So it removes the cost from the town, or for the town, as well as residents. The current process, as you might know, is for oil-based paint, it has to go through the hazardous waste collection at a cost to the town as well as residents to have it disposed of. And then latex paint, if you need to dispose of that, you have to dry it out and then put it in the waste stream. That process of drying it out, typically you use kitty litter, which is very heavy and adds to the tonnage that the town has to pay for as part of that disposal. So this would just remove paint from that waste stream, and having gone through disposing some 20 years of collected paint, it is also a lot simpler for residents to dispose of paint just by dropping it off at a collection center rather than having to go through that process of trying to dry it out. So there's benefits to the residents as well. So the legislation creates a statewide paint stewardship program that's convenient year-round. The collection centers are, a voluntary basis for the retailers of paint voluntarily participate in this program, and residents can just drop their paint off for processing. It reduces the town's hazardous waste and municipal waste, and it creates a reuse of the paint because the program actually recycles the paint into new paint that is resold, and 80% of the paint submitted is actually reprocessed as either paint or some other use. So it seems like a really good program. Some 12 states have already passed laws and participated in this program. It's been going on for over 15 years, since 2010. So it's got a track record of success. And many of our surrounding states are already participating in it. Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, Vermont, and New York. New Hampshire has a pending, and what I understand, they have a pending legislation as well, so they may be on board soon too. So the legislation passed the Senate. Different legislation passed, a bill passed the House, so they're not the same. They're currently in a special committee to reconcile the language. They have until January 2027 to do that, and we expect that they'll do that before the holidays. We expect that they will be passed, but we want to show support from Westford. Currently, there's 118 towns that support this. We're looking to get 100, or not we, but the supporters, advocates for this are looking to get 176, some greater than 50% of the towns. But even 119 would be compelling, I think, for the legislature.
Sure, that's great.
Any questions?
Yeah. Do we have any feedback from town staff on this?
We don't at this point in time, I don't believe.
No concerns,
No.
at least?
No concerns. I mean, anything that decreases our tonnage, we don't have an issue.
Very good. Any questions from the board? Yes, Tom.
So thank you for bringing this forward. It sounds like a great thing for us to support. I'm wondering who then does bear the cost? Is it marked up at point of sale and then they take the responsibility?
Yeah, it is. So the industry has already taken the responsibility for this and set up a nonprofit to handle that processing. And at the point of sale, that cost is then contributes to the program.
Got it. So presumably it raises the price to the consumer a little bit, but then overall it's probably less because they don't have to dispose it on the back end.
Correct,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
exactly.
Any other questions?
I'd be happy to make a motion in
Please.
support.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to support the paint stewardship in Massachusetts, basically for the select board to create a letter of support for the paint stewardship in Massachusetts, including governor's environmental bond bill. And please correct me if you want something different.
Yeah, we were actually asking for support for the, to authorize the commission, the recycling commission, to send the letter. If the board wants to send them a letter directly, that's fine, but we thought it would be easier, simpler, and we wanted to try to get it done quickly.
Okay. So I want to make that motion, which is to authorize and support the recycling commission to create the letters described.
Okay.
Second.
Fantastic. We love it when it makes it easier. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. Thank you so much for doing this and all the hard work that the commission does. It's really a wonderful thing that you guys all do for Westford. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. We're on to old new business. We have a review letter update on 35 Town Farm Road project from Choice. Do you have any updates on that? Sure.
Yes, so David Hedison sends his regrets for not being here. He is out of the country and not able to join us, but he did submit a letter to the select board at the beginning of August that I'd just like to summarize for the board. It also is in your packet. So he writes that he's pleased to report that the project has reached another significant milestone. Over the past several weeks, they received all the formal award letters from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, EOHLC, completing the project's public financing commitments. These awards total more than $24 million in financing and include federal and state low-income tax credits, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, Housing Stabilization Fund, HOME home funds, community-based housing funding, and other financing necessary to move the project to closing. In addition, EOHLC is recognizing that the project remaining financing gap and increase in funding commitment by approximately $350,000 and is allowing us to eliminate that shortfall and position the project for financial closing. The closing meetings have started. They occur every Monday morning. At this point, they're working with the development team, lenders, investors, state agencies, legal counsel, and town representatives on the closing agenda and the required documentation. This process typically requires 8 to 10 weeks before completing the final construction financing. What is not in the letter, and I'll just tell you, is that we are also working with town staff and others and the Choice team on all of the required documents, such as the affordable housing restriction, the historic preservation restriction, the sewer easement, the community preservation grant agreement. So that is all in process on our team.
Great.
As a result of the timing of the closing, groundbreaking is now anticipated to occur approximately 2 to 3 weeks later than original target. I will check with David if that's the September 2nd or later than that. And they would prefer to begin construction slightly earlier. The current development budget now totals $26.2 million with the financing fully assembled. We're also very pleased with the continued progress of our partnership with the Westford Food Pantry, and the teams have been working collaboratively on planning for the shared site, and we remain fully committed to building a successful long-term partnership there. So I won't go on to the summary paragraphs, but it is very good news for the project that Choice is reporting out to the select board this evening.
Fantastic. Thank you for the update, and thank you, David, for the update. Any questions from the board? Do we have any members of the audience that would like to comment on this topic? Yes, please.
Good evening, I'm Ellen Hardy. I'm the chair of the 35 Town Farm Task Force. And in the context of this agenda item, the task force requests clarification from this board what do you see as our role in the coming year? The charge you gave to the task force in November of 2019 when we made our recommendations and you accepted them was the following, quote, to continue to work with stakeholders through the RFP process and the renovations to transform the town farm to affordable senior housing and a new home for the food pantry, end quote. Our 13 members have an incredible history of every aspect of the planned restoration of the town farm. Our membership includes a representative of all the stakeholders. Yet the select board did not send us a copy of this letter, which you received from the developer, nor did the board inform us that this was on the agenda this evening, nor did the town manager mention the task force when she just said that the town has a team that has been put together to work on this. How do the members of the select board see the role of the 35 Town Farm Task Force from tonight through the day that the residents and the food pantry move into the completed project, please?
Thank you, Ellen. Apologies for not providing this document to the task force. I feel remiss as the select board liaison that one of the members of the task force got to it before I got to it. Not an excuse, but I was on vacation. But anyways, we should have made the task force aware, to your point. So we'll do better, hopefully, going forward. So I guess we have a question from the chair regarding direction. Do we have any questions for her or comments?
I guess just, Ellen, can I just ask, so from your interpretation of all the excellent work that's happened so far, is there a suggestion in terms of role that we should be aware of as we're discussing this?
Well, I would certainly think that we would be on the team.
Yeah.
In fact, that all of our membership would. I mean, we really were going to carry this all the way through. So the historic issue, David is the chair of the Historic Commission, is a member of the task force. We just are an integral part of this, and we would like to continue to be a part of that. And I think I said in an email to another task force member, we feel a little bit like the Velveteen Rabbit. We've sort of been put in a closet, and we don't feel we're noticed anymore. But we have so much to bring to this, so we would like to be included. We certainly would like to know, be on distribution letters from the developer. We had a very meaningful meeting in the spring, which we put together. It was a meeting of the task force introducing the food pantry to the architect, who was fabulous. And they now have been working together very closely on that. And we got that started. That's the kind of role that we can play, is to make sure that all of the parties are talking to each other. But we haven't even been kept apprised of that from that end. So we just like to get the communication so that we can be at the table when there's a table to be met.
I guess so more for us to think about, but I'm trying to think of a parallel project where something's gotten funded, is going through a build. There's often like a liaison role between Permanent Town Building Committee or whoever the liaison from the town side is with the entity doing the building. I'm just wondering what sort of activity and information flow will happen from here that we can make sure that you're tied into.
Well, I might say that it was your wording that it was our task to stay with it, quote, through the completion of the renovations. So you gave us that charge.
Yeah.
I guess I turned that back to you, Tom. You were on the board at that time. You were the only one of the members here who was.
Fantastic. It's all your fault, Tom.
No, it is.
I mean, my own opinion. My opinion is we would like to realize that, understand there have been some missteps. So I'm just trying to get specific in my own mind about what the best way to integrate, because the project is now going to go through kind of a phase change and it's going to build. So
could we draw a parallel from how the library commissioners work with the permanent town building as well as town staff on the library project? Is that something that we could?
Well, maybe is the permanent town building committee going to be the interface for this, since it's a choice project?
Not this project, the 35 Town Farm.
So it would be sort of a discussion with Choice. I mean, we would express to Choice that we've got this important constituency group that we would like to be integrated in the process, and there may be some dialogue about what that might look like. Is that-
I think
what
perhaps
we do?
there's just been overall changes in people and faces, and perhaps we need to just have a gathering of who's doing what moving forward, and so everyone's clear with their roles.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Who's
with-
best
with
to
the- with
lead
David.
that? Is that David, or is that other, like?
Well, I think because the select board named the 35 Town Farm Road Task Force, and we do have a number of town actions related to the affordable housing restriction, the historic preservation, the sewer easement, and the community preservation. I think it's probably a mix of town staff and task force members with David's team as well. I don't want to brainstorm this on the fly
Yeah,
here, so
fair
I
enough.
think,
But
Ellen,
so-
if you could give us a week or two to think about
Absolutely.
this.
I would just think of the very elemental part. If you're discussing the historic restrictions on it,
Yeah.
David Gutbrooke
Sure.
from the task force should be there as the representative of that, because that's the voter that we chose to be on that. And by the same token, if you're talking the affordable housing, you know, Nancy represents that contingency, the food pantry as well. So each one of us wears a different hat, and whenever that topic is being discussed in terms of how it will be implemented, the person on the task force, and that can either be through me as chair, or they're all identified, because that's why you appointed them, because of the positions that they hold in town. That person should be notified that a meeting is taking place about that topic, so they have the opportunity to be there. Or we can send someone else in their stead if it's a conflict and they can't be there. But it's somebody from the task force be there at each of those considerations.
Okay, so it sounds like, Kristen, you're going to take some time to think about how we kind of convene and retool for this next really exciting
Phase.
phase to make sure we're
Not
supporting the task force and living up to their charge.
Is that something that you feel comfortable bringing back at our meeting on the 25th with a recommendation? Or do you think you'll need more time?
Let me see when David's back. I know Jeff Morissette is out as well,
That's
so
key players.
I may need a little bit more time.
Okay.
So Ellen, we'll try to shoot for the 25th, but it sounds like it might have to slide to a meeting in September. Is that okay?
That's okay, and at the very minimum, you know, if we could go back, it used to be that when, and this may simply because of the changing, I know, Chris, in your office, that, you know, Cheryl left, and I guess Mike has just begun. You know, that person sitting in the town manager's office would send an email to say, please be advised that something that concerns your committee and board is on the agenda at 7:35 on Tuesday night, August 11th. It was a tremendous, I mean, I look at the agenda, true, but I really, we'd love it if it could be, the initiative could be taken, that when a letter comes that pertains to Tam Farm, that it be forwarded to us. And that if there is an agenda item on your agenda that pertains to the Tam Farm, that we be notified from your office.
Thank you, Ellen. That was an oversight on our part.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's why we felt like the velvet team were. I thank you. We'll work this out, but it just seemed like a good time to bring it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ellen, very much. Okay. Okay, so we have on to our next item, the town manager's notice of resignation, which is effective September 30th. We had to consider what are we going to do next. So one of those options is to set up a search process. Last time we went through sourcing a new town manager, we established the town manager search committee. So I'll put that in front of the board. Is that something we are interested in doing? And what would be the suggested makeup of said committee? Tom?
I think last process worked very well, so I'd suggest that we model it on that. And maybe, Kristen, if you could remind me what the composition of the search committee was?
Absolutely. So it's 2 select board members, 1 finance committee member, 1 school committee member, 5 residents at large, and 2 alternate residents at large.
How does that resonate with folks? Getting some head nods? Do we need a formal motion to set this up?
So what I would do is a formal motion to issue an advertisement starting this week. We can get the volunteer activity form set up as early as tomorrow morning to solicit that. And then I believe that you could review candidates. If we solicit tomorrow, you could review candidates alternates as soon as
The
August
25th?
25th.
Okay. Does that sound fair? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then we also have a discussion to issue a request for proposal for an executive search firm. This is, again, something that we did for our last go-around. What are thoughts on that approach? Head nods. Yes, sir.
Again, I think it worked really well last time, so I think we have an updated draft of last RFP, and I think that I feel great about moving forward with that.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that, or just general directions?
I do need a motion. There is a question or a comment online. If
Oh,
take
fantastic.
that
Yeah,
first.
please.
Andrea Perenner Sweet.
All right. We'll have to hear from her.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to make one comment. Kristen, I know you said that the makeup of the board was 2 alternates. I believe that of the committee, I believe that when we had the committee, we actually permitted the alternates to vote. I know that that's been something that has changed now based on the new select board policy, but I don't know if that's something you want to consider with respect to this new committee, is that we actually allowed everybody to vote and to participate. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Did you have a?
Well, I think the only reason, so would there be a quorum issue if we made all of them voting members instead of having alternates having 7?
So 7 plus 4 is 11.
Yeah, you're looking at
We have
6.
an 11 member. 6 is a quorum.
I think that the participation was pretty high since it was sort of a sprint.
Sure.
So I would be a little bit less concerned about meeting quorum. So I would be happy to change the recommended.
7 members at large.
Yes, I'd be happy to recommend a change, suggested, I don't know how the board feels. Change in composition so that they're all full members.
Any conversation on that request? That's just a change?
Just a question, is
Yeah.
there any reason to still have an alternate or two, just because of isn't the purpose of an alternate in part to fill a gap if there's a shortage in reaching quorum?
Correct.
So
Yes.
is there any reason to actually still add an alternate or two?
I think to Tom's point, and having been a member of the committee, it was high engagement. There was never a problem with getting, I don't think there was a meeting where we didn't have almost everybody there. So I don't suspect that that will be a problem. And there's certainly enough members. I think we'd be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So it's just Diane Wood typed, I was an alternate and did not vote last time. So maybe there's, I'm not quite sure how that operated because I was on the other end of it, but.
I don't remember. In any event, it is our policy to not allow alternates to just participate if they're not raised to the status of a full member for the duration of the meeting. So we have a suggestion from Tom to formulate this committee without alternates. Do we have a second to that suggestion?
I'd second that.
We'll let Sean second that. He was working on the button while you guys were talking. Okay, so we want to craft that as a motion, I guess.
Yes. So we.
Basically, the same makeup without alternates. Seven
Yes,
at large.
the makeup as described, including 7 citizens at large.
And no alternates.
No alternates.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Well, Tom?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. So we'll get that out the door. Hopefully people who are watching will go to the town website and fill out our volunteer activity form, and then we will look forward to making appointments at our next meeting. All right.
And if you want to talk to your colleagues on the school committee and the finance committee,
We should
you can
definitely
start
let
thinking
them
about
know.
their appointments.
Yep. Okay. We have a request to approve and sign the 2026 state primary election warrant.
Yes, so this is a traditional item. If we have a state primary this year, the state primary election is on September 1st, which is actually the week before Labor Day. This is a requirement to be posted by August 25th, 7 days prior to the September 1st election. There will be senator in Congress, governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, treasurer, auditor, representative in Congress, counselor, senator in general court, representative in general court, DA, district attorney, and registrar of probate. So I have 5 copies here if you decide to approve the warrant for you to sign this evening, and then we will have the constable post that later this week.
I'd be happy to make a motion to approve and sign.
Thank you. Do we have a second to that? We have a second. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel? Tom?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. All right, motion carries unanimously. Okay, we have a request to approve and sign the India Day Proclamation for August 15th, 2026. Is there anything you want to add to that?
So we were requested by this organization for the board to sign the India Day Proclamation. I believe that this is a traditional item that you review and sign every year. So there is a certificate for you to authorize signature. We would have that available in the town manager's office for them to honor on August 15th.
I believe this was discussed also by the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee and full support.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Any questions on that request? Is there a motion to support?
So moved.
Thanks, Elizabeth. So we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye, so that motion carries. And we have a request for 3 appointments to the Community Behavioral and Mental Health Committee for terms to expire on June 30th, 2028. Do we have, is Nicole here or is somebody else representing?
Yes,
this
Nicole
request?
is here. This dovetails with the update that you received on July 14th related to the Community Behavioral and Mental Health Committee. Also, one of the representatives who is on the docket, Cheryl Levador, is also online. So Nicole, thank you for joining us. If you want to give us a brief overview.
Hi, so we had a shift in the makeup of the Community Behavioral and Mental Health Committee the end of June. And with that, we now don't meet quorum. So there are 9 residents that would make up the Community Behavioral and Mental Health Committee. We have 4 members that have been sworn in and are participating. So there have been 5 VAFs that have been submitted, and there were 2 of the committee members that reviewed them and sent a email with their requests, which is what is in the packet.
Any questions for Nicole? So Nicole, I have a question for you. Do you feel it would be to the benefit of the committee if they reduce the size from 9 to 7, or?
I think that it would probably support, reaching quorum or potentially reducing to 7 with 2 alternates.
Okay. Do you want to bring that back to the committee and let them discuss now that they have some additional people and can make quorum, and then they can bring back a recommendation to this board?
Yes, I think that'd be a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you said we have Cheryl online. Does she want to speak on behalf of her candidacy? She doesn't have to, of course, but.
Cheryl, do you want to say anything?
No, I just wanted to listen in and introduce myself. That was all.
Well, thank you for joining the conversation, Cheryl, and being willing to serve on this board. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? We have a motion in support of this request.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. All right. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. So thank you, everybody who was willing to serve on the Community Behavioral and Mental Health Committee. That's great. We are moving on to another appointment. To appoint Megan O'Connell to the Robinson School Building Committee as a representative of the Permanent Town Building Committee. I think we got an email from the chair of the Permanent Town Building.
Right, so first off, in your incoming correspondence, you received an email from Mike Padden, who is on the Permanent Town Building Committee. He was one of the representatives on the Robinson School Building Committee. He is tendered his resignation. Last evening, the Permanent Town Building Committee met and appointed or recommended that the Select Board appoint Megan O'Connell to take that seat on the Robinson School Building Committee. This is formalized in a Select Board meeting because then we need to file paperwork with the Massachusetts School Building Committee.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions for the town manager on this?
I have one question.
Yes, please.
Is it unique to have an alternate as a liaison?
It really is based upon availability of committee members. I know that their committee is spread very thin right now with the library building project going on and whatnot. So it is permissible that an alternate could sit on that seat.
Sure.
Okay, any other questions? Is there a motion in support of this request?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
That was an aye.
Sound like you're underwater.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Aye, yeah, that's better. Noel?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. Thank you to Megan for serving in this capacity. We have moved on to our board reports and updates. Board members, is there any update that we want to share?
I'll share that I was at the Robinson School Building Feasibility meeting earlier today, and we know from our tri-board meeting that that project has moved into its next phase, and so it just continues to really encourage broad involvement and monitoring from the community at large, and there are many ways to do that, including another set of public forums that are coming out, one a month in September, October, and November. The dates are widely published online, and I don't know if I can rattle them off, maybe September 19th. But just, it's a really important undertaking, and just the more residents can tune into that and listen to it, there are far-reaching implications in terms of just really looking at enrollment over time. That's been a point raised often by residents. Isn't our enrollment decreasing, and what are we doing about that? Well, that data is available, and there's speaking to that. Also, redistricting. We have some schools that have overcapacity, like Abbott, and others under. So that's part of this conversation, and it really has implications for all elementary school families. So I just really encourage people to tune in.
And Elizabeth, September 9th, October 14th, and November 17th.
Thank you.
All of those start at 6:30 p.m. at the Stony Brook Middle School.
Thank you, Kristen. Welcome.
Elizabeth, thank you very much for that update. I think one question I have, or maybe a recommendation, if you will, I think we heard a little bit about this at the tri-board, the need to continue to get people involved in the process early. Having been to a number of the meetings, attendance is probably not where we hope it to be. So I'm hopeful that perhaps we could ask our school superintendent perhaps to use his leverage to send out emails, to notify parents of school-age children that these meetings are coming up and to urge their participation. I just think it would be great if we can get more people aware of this project at this stage. So,
I'll offer
just
to
my
take that
recommendation.
forward and
Thank you, I appreciate
alongside
it.
any other efforts that might bring that suggestion forward.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we have a fairly captive audience in some ways with the parents dropping off kids at school. I don't know if there's budget for some signs that we can put at the entrance or exits to some of these schools, particularly when parents are waiting in line. Might be a great way to just continue to get that messaging out. I know when I'm at WA dropping off people, it can, there's ample opportunity for us to put up signage, maybe 3 or 4 signs as you're coming to the drop-off and pickup zone saying, hey, we have this meeting, you need to be involved, and put a date. Maybe somehow structure it so that we can just change the date without having to redo the sign all the time, right? Because this is going to be a project that's going to be going on for years. And this is the target customer, so to speak. So if there's an opportunity, maybe the committee would be willing to think about that as an option.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Any other items in terms of board reports or updates? Okay. We're going to move on to our minutes for approval. We have for release regular session minutes for November 15th, 2022. That's going back some time. July 14th, 2026, July 23rd, 2026, July 28th, 2026. Just to make sure that's not a typo, right?
It is not. In going through all of the town manager search matters, I
Yeah.
did recognize that there was a meeting November 15th that was not approved.
Well, I appreciate your diligence in that matter. Any questions, comments on those?
So I've typically abstained from meetings that happened before I participated, but in this case, I think we may all be, or many of us in that same boat,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I will vote this time.
I hear you. I think we're going to have to.
All right.
Are there any edits or changes to the minutes? Okay. Do we have a motion in support of releasing these minutes?
Second.
Okay, Elizabeth was the primary and Noel was second. We'll take the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And also an aye. So all those minutes are approved. And we're on to the town manager's report. Kristen, take it away.
So first is we received a grant from the state for the Green Communities application in the amount of $125,000 for the Cameron Senior Center. $58,000 and change is for the VRF variable refrigerant heat pump system, and $66,852 for our building management system upgrade. We have been discussing this for a while. It's been in our capital plan, and we're very grateful to have received those funds. We do need to reply back to the state with our contract documents. I'm happy to go on to purchase orders and contracts if you want to take it all under one vote.
I would like to, so yes,
Okay, sure.
please do that.
The next is a traditional purchase order that you see for Pace Analytical for our perchlorate testing in the amount of $30,000 as requested by the town manager's office. Another is traditional, our cyber communications for our public safety communications in the amount of $26,509.20 as requested by public safety communication. And then this one you have not seen before, but every year we do pay the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments our community assessment. This is the first year that that assessment is over $10,000, so it does need to be approved by the select board. It is in your budget. It was budgeted under the fiscal 27 budget with the town meeting approval. And then for contracts, this is a yearly contract with the Upper Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps for fiscal 27, contract with Nancy Burns, our MRC coordinator, in the amount of $51,300 as requested by the Health Department. PAR Corporation for additional engineering and testing services for a return to compliance plan for the Westford Academy wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $24,900 as requested by the Water Department. The Finance Committee reviewed this last week for reserve fund transfers. This was not included in the budget and was an unforeseen cost. And then finally, water distribution materials for fiscal 27 in accordance with the packet materials as requested by the Water Department. Each material is a different price, so we didn't, there was a giant chart. We did not want to list that on your agenda. So those are the grants, purchase orders, and contracts for your review and approval this evening.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Any questions for Kristen? Do we have anybody online that has a question?
No questions
Okay.
online.
Yes, Elizabeth.
A couple of items on.
You know what? I did see it pop up. Hold on.
Under.
Oh, it's just Cheryl was saying thank you for.
Sorry, Elizabeth, go ahead.
No worries. Under contracts for the Upper Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps. So one point is this is funded through grants. So often we think of grants as a great fit for one-time uses, but this one has some recurrence to it. So is that something that is differentiated, special grants that we know we can count on year after year, versus the one-time ones for like some capital projects?
Sure. So yes, this one has been very consistent and year over year for our medical reserve, which helps with sheltering, emergency management planning, flu clinics, and whatnot. I don't know the certainty over past this year, but it has been very certain year over year.
Yeah, great, thank you. And just in case the public was looking at our packet, this contract is, and all the related documents is about 90 pages. There is so much to this. So just whenever there is an opportunity in a future meeting to just share all the important components to this, I found it interesting. I think it'd be a possible point of interest for the broader community, just that this is one of the ways the town of Westford is connected into other communities for disaster planning, for example. So it's a very interesting read, so I'd love to hear somebody really in the know on it summarize it.
So I think, we have made an effort with having different boards come in. This certainly could be something that the health department might be able to provide an overview on. So let's see if we can schedule that.
Sure.
Do we think 15 minutes, 10 minutes? How much do you think?
Well, I think it depends how much you want the health department to talk about their services, right? Because they do everything from Title V to community health. So I think if you want to focus on a specific topic, we can set them up for that.
Would you rather hear an overview of all the stuff that they do for the community, and then maybe at a later time?
I would, yeah.
Okay. How does the board feel about just a general overview from the health department first, maybe 10 minutes, a few slides, and then we could maybe highlight different areas of interest at a later time? Does that seem reasonable? I do know that our September meetings are going to be pretty chock-a-block full.
Right.
So I want to be just aware of that.
Yeah.
Do you think you could help facilitate
I
that
can,
for a
yep.
September meeting?
The other thing is we talk a lot about what the departments do in the finance committee meetings as well when we're doing the public hearings for the budget. So just think about how you want to receive the information. We're happy to facilitate and coordinate a meeting.
Yeah, I think the finance ones are, I think this would be a little higher level.
Sure.
So why don't we do a high level overview at a meeting in September, and then have you participated in any of the this will be your first year with going through the.
I've been an observer.
Okay.
But no, never.
So, yeah. All right, let's try that and see how that works out.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I lost track. Did we vote on this?
No, we didn't.
Thank you. Sidetracked me, Elizabeth.
Sorry.
We need a motion to support.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second? Thank you. Well, all right. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Tom? Aye. I'm also an aye, so thank you for that. We do have correspondence. I normally just say waive the reading of correspondence, but I thought it was important that we recognize the correspondence that we got, because it's just one letter, right?
So we already talked about the Mike Patton letter, then the other letter was from the youth resident, yes.
Yes, so I did want to, I thought that was very nice that this youth, I couldn't, is it Basil? Anybody be able to decipher the name?
I think we were trying to keep the name private because.
The name is on the letter, not the full address isn't there. But anyways, to the young resident who wrote this, really appreciate it. We have forwarded it on to the chair of the Pedestrian Safety Committee for the committee to review and potentially reach out and have a conversation with that person. So thank you. And I guess I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Sean?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
Wow. Tom? I'm also aye. So we are adjourned. Thank you very much, Westford. Good night.